A U.S. congressman has condemned Jamaica's statement on Cuba and has issued a warning that the country will face the consequences. In a post on X on the opening day of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness highlighted the economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian challenges being experienced in Cuba. He said Jamaica will continue to stand in solidarity with the Cuban people while supporting practical steps that lead to stability and shared prosperity for the region. But in a quote tweet referencing Dr. Holness's comments late on Wednesday, Congressman Carlos Jimenez accused Jamaica of covering up for the dictatorship in Cuba. He wrote, quote, "I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the GLP would cover up for the moribund dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tensions and undermine the GLP," end quote. Jimenez, who is a member of the House Committees on Armed Services and Homeland Security, added that Jamaica will face the consequences. And in a related story, Editor-in-Chief of Starbrook News in Guyana, Anand Prasad, says it is disgraceful that CARICOM countries have not yet provided assistance to Cuba as the humanitarian crisis in the Spanish-speaking nation deepens. Prasad points to worsening shortages of energy, food, and other critical supplies, which he says are rapidly escalating into a major crisis.
I cannot see how, even if you wanted to wed yourself to Trump administration policies, given the history of our region and the fact that we've historically embraced the Cuban Revolution, so to backtrack on that after all this time, particularly at this very moment when they are in a dire situation, is disgraceful. I think Prime Minister Holness did the right thing. We actually led our page 5 today with him, saying that we need to have clarity on the need to provide humanitarian aid to Cuba. So at the bottom of it all, no matter what is going on, there is no excuse for not coming to the aid of our brothers and sisters in Havana. It's disgraceful that we have done it as yet.
An executive order issued by United States President Donald Trump had targeted countries supplying oil to Cuba with the threat of punitive measures. But the Trump administration later scaled back the order, authorizing companies to seek licenses to resell Venezuelan oil to the island. Outgoing chairman of CARICOM and Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, has called for smart diplomacy and collective action to support the Cuban people. Prasad says CARICOM cannot afford to turn a blind eye to the situation.
I hope that at the end of this summit, there's going to be something in the communique that reflects the absolute need to show gratitude for everything that Cuba has done for the region. We've had doctors, we've had thousands of people with eye surgeries, we've had scholarships, we've had medical partnerships. But I think it's disgraceful, and it shows a lack of spine, and it shows this calculus that is completely bereft of any kind of humanitarian instinct. The bottom line is we owe a severe debt of gratitude to Cuba, and to abandon it at its time of greatest need is really callous. I cannot understand how any leader can face his own people and to show that sort of ingratitude to a friend in the region.
Anand Prasad, Editor-in-Chief of Starbrook News in Guyana.